Hello and welcome back to the podcast. My name is Gwen Montoya. I'm a marketing strategist. I'm so glad that you're here. Today, I want to talk about 13 things that you can do one handed and from your phone to work on your marketing and to work towards your goals. If you're a returning listener, thank you so much for coming back. If this is the first time you're hearing this, thank you so much for giving it a shot. I hope you take something away from today's podcast that is helpful and inspiring. There's an idea that when you run a business, we are always at our desk, we are always having a full range of the laptop and the speakers and our entire setup. And the reality, especially if you're a small business owner, is that you're probably doing it all yourself. And a lot of times life happens and we don't necessarily have time at our actual computer to do things. And maybe we're doing things in a car pickup line. Maybe we're doing things while we wait for a kid at a doctor's appointment, or maybe we're trying to build our business in the downtime when we can find it. So I wanted to share these 13 things that you can do one handed on your phone to help you reach your goals, to help you stay on top of those little marketing tasks that need to be dealt with, but that don't necessarily require you to be at your desk because sometimes we don't have that option. This idea originally started as a list of 5 or 7 topics, and I just kept adding to it. And I got to 13, and I thought that's a really good place to stop and just record this. So I want to share these 13 things. So let's get started. Number one, did you know that Canva has an app? And did you know that you can actually make social media graphics on the Canva app? I'm personally not a huge fan of the app, but I know some people are. You can also make changes to graphics that you've made in the past. So this is a good chance if you need to create some quick graphics and you just have a little bit of time and one hand and your phone, you can do it using the Canva app. If you find yourself only being able to work on your business in tiny pockets of time where you have to do this one-handed on your phone, another thing that you can do is check your email. Make sure that you aren't missing anything. Make sure that you don't owe anybody an email. If you're not quite ready to send that email, you can always save it to drafts. So you can write drafts for emails to send later. You can also use your phone to sketch out blog posts or social media content, whether that is in the Notes app in your phone, in your Google Drive app, or with another app that you like to use instead. These are things that you can do that don't take a lot of time, but can get you started so that when you're back at a regular desk kind of setup, you can dig right in and get started so that you're not starting from scratch. Something I've done in the past is actually store the rough drafts of my social media content in a Google Drive, and then I have that app on my phone so I can just open it to work on it. And when I'm ready to schedule it, I can either schedule it directly into Instagram or I can use a scheduling app. Most scheduling apps, things like Buffer, things like Metricool, they usually have apps. So not only can you write the content, you can actually schedule it right from your phone. Also related to email, if you just have a couple of minutes, take some time to clean up your inbox, delete messages that you don't need anymore, unsubscribe from email lists that you're not actually going to read. That will make your email time easier. If you're like me and you are always saving articles to read later, if you just have a little bit of time in your phone, this is a good chance to read one of those articles and clear it from your list. Maybe you'll learn something new, or if nothing else, it won't be on your to-do list anymore. You've probably heard this before, but engagement is incredibly important for social media. If you just have your phone and a little bit of time, take some time to reply to comments, reply to DMs, comment on other accounts, follow some new accounts, start making friends on social media. The great thing about doing this in small pockets when you know you just have a little bit of time is it's kind of like a self timer. So you're not going to get sucked into social media all day and you're not going to feel like you wasted your time because you're going in to the apps with really specific tasks to do. Obviously, if you just have a little bit of time and you are trying to keep up with everything, it can feel really important to do all of the tasks as much as you can. But another thing that you can do is just take a couple of minutes to have some deep breaths, take a couple of minutes to quiet your brain and just relax for a few minutes so that you're not feeling like you're constantly on the go. And I'll say this often, if you've been around me, we have to take time off. We have to give our brains a little bit of breathing room and a little bit of chance to recharge as small business owners, or we're going to hit burnout. And I don't want that for you. If you're not sure where to start, there are lots of meditation apps. You can just try one. If nothing else, just try one or two every time you have a little bit of a break until you find one that you like. These short little breaks might also be a good time for you to send a message to a friend if you haven't connected lately, because again, we are more than business owners and I don't want you to hit burnout. And I also want you to have a social life and have friendships and have things outside of your work. So take a little bit of time and catch up with a friend, especially if they're a small business owner, because they probably also meant to reach out to you too and just haven't gotten to it yet. Another way that you can give your brain a little break is to play a little phone game. I personally have what we like to call a silly little farm game. Maybe you're a Pokemon Go fan. Maybe there's something else that you like to play, but giving yourself just a little bit of time to just breathe and just relax can also be beneficial. These next two are much more specific as far as marketing goes, but being on your phone is actually the perfect time to do them. So number one, go to your website, act as if you've never been there before. Is it clear? Can you find the thing that you think your audience is looking for? Does it raise any questions? And more importantly, is your website mobile friendly? Having a mobile friendly website is incredibly important. And we spend a lot of time thinking about what our website looks like on a computer, but we don't always take the time to check it on our phone. So if you have just a little bit of time, that's a good way to spend it. Another thing that you can do is to check the links on your website. So click around. Do the links work? Do they go to the pages you think they're supposed to go to? Is anything broken? Make a note of it. These are things that just sometimes happen with websites, and it's just good to check them a couple times a year. And finally, start a to-do list for things that you want to work on when you have more time and more hands. Getting a head start while you are just making some quick notes so that your future self can just refer to those notes is going to save you time and effort in the long run. So that is my list of 13 things that you can do one-handed and on your phone while you were busy doing other things, while you were just waiting in lines or you have some unexpected downtime. I hope that this was helpful. If this inspired you to try anything or if you have any questions, please email me, Gwen at gwenmontoya.com. I would love to hear what you're doing.